You know, there's nothing quite like looking back on yourself 5, 6 years in the past and trying to just remember who you were. There's been a lot going on in my life over the last month or so. It's got me thinking a lot about who I used to be as compared to who I am, as compared to who I want to be. For instance, there was a day where I was uploading 2, 3, sometimes 4 videos in a month on YouTube, and now I find myself, I don't care as much. Not that I don't care about you guys. You guys are great. You know, there's what, 250 something of you now? That's more than I could have ever asked for. I mean, just a year ago, I couldn't have imagined being in this position with so many people just interested in what I have to say or what I'm going to do next. So thank you all for being here along this ride. But I am almost done now with the semester, with the fall semester, and I'm about to be entering the spring semester in about a month. And that's going to be my last semester of college. I started making videos shortly before coming to college, which means it's almost been 5 years that I've been doing this now. And I look back to even before then, you know, there's nothing more embarrassing in your life than to go back and look at your profile pictures or Facebook pictures or whatever from pretty much the beginning of the time that you created that profile. I mean, you start looking at it and you go, what was I thinking at the time? Who was this person? And you look at yourself and you go, wow, what's changed? Has it been good or bad? Why was I like that? What drove me to be that way? What was the reason I made that decision? Who was I trying to impress? And then I compare my current self to who I used to be, and I'm left with the question, would the person I used to be proud of the person I am today? Am I even remotely what I wanted to be at the time? And the answer to some of those questions is yes, and some of those questions is no. But do they really matter? And I would submit that they do not. You know, for school, I just went through this self-analysis project where I had to analyze myself and my own preferences and basically determine who I am on paper. And that was an interesting process. But I've come to the conclusion at the end of it that who I am today doesn't matter to who I used to be. Who I used to be is important in the fact that it's what drove me to be who I am today. I am who I am because of who I used to be, the decisions I used to make, and the person I used to allow myself to be. Whether for good or bad, I made decisions in the past that have led to me being who I am now. And I'm okay with that, whether they were decisions that I regret, in a sense, you know, or decisions that I'm proud of to this day. I still made them, and it's because of those decisions that I am here now. Talking to you, figuratively and literally, I guess. And it's got me thinking about who I'm gonna be. Who do I want to be? I want to be the kind of person that when I look back on my life, I don't ever look back on anything in sadness. Maybe maybe I look back and I go, wow, that was dumb. Probably would have been better had I never done that. But I never want to look back and just be stricken with sadness saying, man, you know, I wish I could go back and do it again, because honestly, I don't. Sure, there are decisions that I would have been better off never making. But they've created me. And am I ultimately happy with myself? No. I've got a lot of growth to do. I've got a long way to go. I have a lot of areas in my life where I say that this is the kind of person I want to be, but then I act a completely different way. And I recognize to some degree that that's everybody, but you still can't help but go, what's making me be that way? Why am I doing that? What's the reason here? I want to be a good person. I want to be the kind of person that is accepting of others. But I also want to be the kind of person that my life meets and matches my convictions, and one where just because I accept someone and love them for who they are, I want to be the kind of person that lets them know that I don't approve of certain things. And that's hard. Because a lot of times in life, so much as disapproving of the way someone lives their lives can be seen as judgmentality. And that's not at all what I'm trying to be. What I'm trying to say is, here's who I am. This is my person that I have become, and this is what I believe, and this is what matches the future I want to create for myself. And you don't match that. You don't fit that future. And that's not a problem. You can live your life the way you want. I don't want to get in the way of the way you want to live your life. But you might not necessarily contribute well to my future. And then maybe you're the kind of person that is going to just inspire me to be better. I have those people in my life now that I look at them and I go, you make me want to be the best me that I can. And it's important to have those people around. If you don't have the kind of people around your life that inspire you to be more, to be better, then I don't know. I've been there. It's not that great. You find yourself not really knowing why you're trying so hard. I never gave up. I'm not the kind of person to give up. I'll work hard for my entire life for what I want and for what I believe is best. But there are definitely days where I've asked myself, why do I care so much? And there were days that I couldn't answer that question. Right now I can. There is a purpose for me in this life. And there is a purpose for you in this life. I don't know what that purpose is, but I know that to fulfill that purpose, I need to be constantly mindful of everyone and of myself. And I need to know what's going on in my life and in others' lives, and I need to understand. I like understanding the way people tick sometimes. I like trying to figure them out. A little psychoanalysis, a little bit of, psychology here and there. But I have a goal. I know roughly the kind of life I want to live, the kind of people I want to be surrounded by. So when I say, as I pop my knuckles, when I say that someone might not necessarily fit within my ideals, I don't judge them, and I don't hate them, and I don't have anything against them, no matter what their decisions are that make me decide that way. But I have a picture in my mind of the kind of life I want to live, and sometimes to achieve the life that I want, other people can't be part of it. I guess the whole point I'm trying to make with this video is, if at any point in time I drift away from people, it doesn't mean I like them any less. It doesn't. I try to care for all people. I fail with 99.9% of the human population. But for those I care about, I don't let their mistakes, or what I think are their mistakes, or whatever, I don't let that affect it. I love people for who they are. I do. And that will never change, and I never want that to change. I want to always treat people fairly, like they deserve, because no one person is better than the other. But there are people who fit better into my life than others. And there are things that fit better into my life than others. And so sometimes you just have to keep moving forward. Right now I'm facing what is the scariest but also most amazing chapter of my life I can imagine. I am so filled with wonder and hope, and there's just so many opportunities for my future. I just have to reach out and grab and make it happen. I'm excited. I'm excited. But I'm also humbled and thankful for the people who've been part of my life up until now. There is nothing about you that I would ever trade for anything. I'm so glad you've been part of my life. But there may come a time in which you won't be. And that's not because I don't like you anymore or don't think you're great. It's just because the direction I'm taking my life for my ideal future might not necessarily be able to include you. And I'm not, this video is not about anyone in particular. It's not. There's no one in my mind I'm thinking about. I'm just looking back on my life and the people who used to be part of it, and the person that I used to be, and the people I used to try to impress. I've realized that the worst times in my life were when I was trying to be someone I'm not. Every time I ever tried to be friends with people who didn't fit into my life, quite right. Maybe I tried to change my life to fit them more because I idealized them or whatever. Anytime I tried to be someone that I'm not, it made things rough. And slowly and eventually I moved away from a whole bunch of people. Some people I'll still keep in touch with from time to time. Some people I had to block on every form of social media that exists. Some people you just grow apart from. And I know that's not the case for everybody. I'm a very different person from a lot of people, and I'm okay with that. I know what I want in my life. I know what makes me happy, and I know who I want to be, and I know that I'm nowhere near that person. I'm nowhere near the person that I want to be. But I'm trying. And along the way, I'm going to try to make other people's lives better. I like that. I like the idea that, it's my favorite quote. I've said it a million times in a million different ways, but you only have to remember that what you've done in your life may change what someone else is doing in their lives. That's incredible. The very thought that one thing I've ever done could change something for someone, or change their life in any way, or just change their opinion, or open their eyes, or anything, blows my mind and scares me. What a responsibility that we have. We can affect the lives of the people around us, and that's terrifying and humbling and exciting and amazing. You have an incredible opportunity to make a difference in the entire world just by changing the life of one person. Don't ever take that lightly, and always try to be the best you that you can. Always. Never give up, no matter what. you're kind of awesome. You're awesome. You are. And as hard as it is to admit it, and to see it even, or to accept it, I know that to some degree, so am I. I just have to figure it out. And try to be better, always. Doesn't matter how great you are, always try to be better. The moment at which you stop trying to be better is the moment you've pretty much just submitted to fate and death. Always improve yourself. And that's what I'm going to try to do. And I'm going to try to make other people's lives around me better while I do it. But there are just some people that won't fit in my life. And that's okay. Don't get me wrong, I'm not down. I'm actually excited and happy. I've not been this happy and excited in a long time. But I just wanted to make myself clear for anyone who ever questions or doubts or wonders about me. I care. Whether you've stopped hearing from me and you never see another video or hear anything from me for years, that doesn't matter, because you were part of my life. And you made a difference in mine. And you played a part in creating the person that I am. And that makes you important to me. And you always will be. Because I'm not who I was yesterday or the day before or anything. And I'm not who I'm going to be. I'm just who I am now. And I owe you guys a lot of that. This video has been just a jumble of thoughts and everything, but I've just kind of been reflecting lately. This video probably doesn't make any sense. I've just gone left and right and upside down and loop-de-loo and done a barrel roll, but it's okay. Because I just wanted to talk, I guess. It's been a while. I had a lot to say. This is a long video, so if you've made it through the whole thing, congratulations. You have a lot more patience than I do. Next time I have something to say, I'll say it. I have a blog. I haven't put anything on it in a while. It's one of those things where if I have something to say and I want to write it instead of speak it, then I'll do it. I think I've got 3 posts on there. It's connorholland.wordpress.com. See you around.